Hello, everybody. Welcome to a new podcast to listen to for your whatever you want, daily routine, whatever. Listen to it in the shower. Listen to it in your car, but don't crash the car, please, because this
listen
is
to it while you're having sex.
Yeah, sex podcast. Okay. Welcome to One for the Other. My name is Lane.
And I am superior to you in every way. My name is Josh.
Okay, you didn't have to. That's a low blow or high blow. What kind of blow is that? I want to blow.
I don't know, but I'm high as fuck.
You want some blow. Okay, so the premise of the podcast. Okay, this is a new podcast that everyone needs in their life. Okay, so one person, get this shit. They pick out an album for the both of them to listen to for the week. Then the other person recommends a movie to watch that both of them will watch for the week. And for this first episode here, we're going to start with the record I recommended. I recommended the quintessential, the groundbreaking Pet Sounds by the Beach Boys. It was released in 1966 by, you know, the Beach Boys. Everyone knows fucking Beach Boys, you know, whatever.
Who are the Beach Boys? I don't know no Beach Boys.
You know the Beach Boys, the one who goes to the beach every day? Those four little boys who go to the beach every day? The cousin of Ruckus. The cousin of damn Ruckus at the beach, and I don't know what to do about it. They keep singing Surfing USA, Surfing USA. I don't know what to do about it. I want to dig my eardrums out.
As you should.
But no, the Beach Boys, they were a surf rock band that basically they were run by their dad. They're all brothers. And their dad was a complete and total prick who demanded perfection from each and every one of the brothers. And what came out was kind of this beautiful fucking like harmony and doo-wop, like white boys singing doo-wop. Oh, it was fucking sick. And then there's like, I want to go surfing and I'm in California with some girls. But then one day this dude, he fucking snaps and he's like, I need to make a better record than Rubber Soul. This dude that I speak of, his name is Brian Wilson. And he goes crazy. He makes this fucking record that is so unbelievable. I can't even tell you. But no one wants to hear from me. Everyone's here for Josh, obviously.
Yeah.
What'd you think of the record? I know this isn't a record that you've heard before. So I want to hear what you thought.
Okay. Here's what I thought. With two words, the two words I would use to best describe this album. Mm-hmm. The first would be slimy. The second would be overrated.
Oh my. Are we going to have a fucking argument on our very first podcast right now?
I sure freaking hope so.
Oh my goodness.
Let me say this. I chalk up the second to overhype because I've heard people call this album like the Beach Boys Sgt. Pepper. Mm-hmm. And Sgt. Pepper is a far better album than this.
Wow.
Wow. I don't ever research the albums or anything. Uh-huh. I just go off of experience. So I didn't look up that. Rubber Soul makes sense. It seems, if I were to compare it to a Beatles album, it would be like a slimier Help. Like, that's the level of hits to just basic pop songs. Okay, did you listen to the words? It is so slimy.
What do you like? It's from 1966, you fuckhead. They all talk like that. Yes.
No, but
the Beatles fucking did.
Not like they did.
Yes, they fucking did bullshit.
Indie dude gaslighting bullshit. Like, I'm waiting for the day where there's a line where he straight up says, "You belong to me."
No, yeah. I actually did say, I wrote this down in my notes. I said, waiting for the day has major 66 simp vibes. But it is really fucking catchy, and it's really fucking fun, and it has that one lower harmony that sounds like a monkey. It's like doo 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 doo. You know that part? It's the best part of the whole record, I tell you. It's so good.
No, also super slimy. He's like, oh, you got sad. Why would you be sad? I can't believe you went and got sad. So I'm gonna wait till you're not sad, and then I'll love you again.
Yeah.
What else? You Still Believe in Me. Super slimy. Like, oh, you love me so much. No, I'm so flawed. I'm just a flawed person. There's nothing I can do about being unfaithful. You still believe. I can't believe you're so amazing. I was
Like, okay. It's slimy. It's from 1966. All right.
Rubber Soul is not as slimy.
Rubber
as
Soul
that.
has a fucking song about killing a fucking prostitute in it, burning it down to the fucking ground. Have you heard the fucking
That
running?
is slimy.
The
I'm
song
not
where it's
saying there's-
"Runaway Little Girl" and he's gonna kill you. John Lennon's a
not
fucking murderer. He's gonna get
I'm not
you.
saying there's no slime on the album. I'm saying that it's less slimy.
Okay,
The
okay.
Beatles songs are who are they are most compared to. So that's why I make this, because that's who
Okay.
they are compared to. Wrote more love songs and not less like weird, slimy, manipulative. I don't like it.
It's not manipulative. It's just fucking.
It's weird.
It's a period piece. That's what it is, Josh. You have to go into it with the brain of this slimy asshole from 1966.
I don't wanna.
Please, for me.
I like my brain.
Okay, all right. Well, okay. Besides the fucking lyrics, let's get past the lyrics.
Besides the slime.
The slime, I guess. I hate.
Okay.
I hate that word.
I will say this.
Say-
I'll say this though.
say
You were right. This album bops. They wrote good pop songs and
Yeah.
they're catchy and fun. Even though I've only listened to this album for a week, I'm able to like sing along and dance to it.
Yeah.
They are very catchy and poppy, but I feel like sometimes that hurts the album.
Really, you think so?
Because a lot of these songs, going back to the lyrics a little bit,
Yeah.
regardless of sliminess, have a somber tone, but the whole thing is in this surf rock upbeat thing.
Yeah.
And it's very strange.
But
like,
that's why it was interesting to me, because it was talking about these super introspective things, and it's like completely, I don't know. It's like the most like hypocritical album I've ever listened to. It's like a whole record of pumped up kicks. you know what I'm saying?
yeah, I mean, I get that. I think it's just an artistic choice, and I think it could work. For me, it just doesn't work.
Yeah.
I think there's definitely times where not conforming to what a sound should be like. What's the one that comes to mind? Sometimes Wake Me Up When September Ends. He goes like harder in that part, but he still does the sad, but he still leans into the punk and the hard. And I like that, but I don't like this. So I don't know what it is, but for me, I just didn't like that song's like Here Today, God Only Knows.
Oh my God! Did you just say that to me?
I thought they were fun and catchy,
God,
but I
dude.
was like, this would be a really interesting.
That's
I would,
like-
I would be interested to see a singer-songwriter type cover those songs and just see what they did.
Dude, God Only Knows is like the most profound love song I've ever heard in my fucking life. It's so good. Like, that's the kind of shit I want played at my fucking wedding. Well, maybe not, because it's like the opening line is like, I may not always love you. Okay, maybe not for the wedding, but it's like, oh my God, and like the key changes and the harmony in it, and it's so complex, and
Would you say that's your favorite song?
it's one of my favorites. I think my actual favorite, it's kind of, I don't know. It's kind of going against everything I'm saying right now. But Let's Go Away for a While, one of the instrumental tracks on the record. Holy fuck. Are you kidding me?
I loved those a lot.
damn. Like,
Those songs kind of, I was like, okay, this is where I could see the comparison to something like Sgt.
Yeah.
Pepper, where you're branching out a bit and doing these cool, fun instrumentals. I loved those songs.
those are really, and like, I even like, okay, let's talk about You Still Believe in Me, the second track on the record. The fucking intro is like the most beautiful ethereal thing. Like I read up on it, and they used the plucking of piano strings to get that sound, and it's just like soaked in reverb, and it's like, holy shit. But then you get kind of to the later half of the song, and they're singing like these really beautiful harmonies, but there's a fucking bike horn in the background. do you know what I'm saying? Like, there's
know.
they're like, and then It's just like it was super super out of place, but it kind of fit the really childish tone of the song, so I kind of appreciated it. I still kind of, it reminded me of like some Syd Barrett Pink Floyd shit that he would do.
Oh, God,
like, exactly. Gerald. Exactly. What else did I have? Put Your Head on My Shoulder, dude.
That song was pretty good. I like that.
Oh, that's really romantic.
Also, we can't talk about this album, at least in my mind, without mentioning 50 First Dates, because that song plays a prominent part in that movie. We didn't do that movie, but that, and it starts off. So like the first time I listened to it, I just went straight through, and then after that, I would shuffle to make sure I got an equal deliverance. But like, that's a wild start to the album. I mean, it's not bad. It's a decent song. I understand why it's so popular.
Yeah.
It's just like every time I hear it, I can just see like Adam Sandler and whoever the girl is in that movie.
Yeah, who is it? Drew Barrymore, I think. I can't remember.
Probably.
Yeah, I love that track as well. There's fuck. There's so many, and the one near the end, fucking I Wasn't Made for These Times. Holy shit.
That one's okay, but also it gives me vibes of like Born in the Wrong Generation, so automatic.
Yeah, but this was before fucking any of these cliches were born, dude.
I mean, kind of, but also you got to imagine there were those types of people.
I mean, yeah, you're probably right, but
I know I'm right. I'm always right.
Shut up.
I have no flaws.
Oh, I wish I grew up in the 1930s and I went to the Great Depression. This generation's really not for me. These Rolling Stone men, they're scaring me. I don't like it. I need to go
Stop
back.
rolling.
Stop. Will they ever stop rolling? Fuck.
Sit still. God.
Mick Jagger.
Grow some moss.
Mick Jagger, Keith Richards. All they do is roll. I like the title track, but it's very misleading. No sounds of pets, just beautiful like woodwinds and fucking beautiful harmonies and arrangement. I don't give a fuck. There's no pet sounds. There was the doggy at the end of
Dog. I like that. I liked how the album ended.
Yeah, with the pet.
I liked that a lot. What else? Oh, my favorite song was Sloop John B.
Oh, I didn't think you'd like that one, actually.
It's fun, and the part right after the first chorus where it's just the like harmonies of them, I like that part a lot.
I like that a lot.
And it also doesn't feel like slimy. It's upbeat. Besides that, Pet Sounds would probably be my favorite.
Yeah, Pet Sounds is good. I like that one a lot.
Although I would say Here Today is the most catchy of them all. That's the one I found myself repeating when I woke up in the morning, and I like that song a lot.
I actually really liked That's Not Me. That one got stuck in my head a lot. Yeah, I like that one a lot.
Yeah, that one sounded the most ahead of its time, the most modern to me. Like, I can definitely hear that in something today.
Yeah, and I just appreciated so some context for our listeners. I haven't really sat down and listened to this record all the way through, and I think it's just amazing to see the progression from fucking Surfin' USA to songs like Let's Go Away for a While or Sloop John B or, all these really, really profound, I wouldn't even say necessarily groundbreaking, but it's just like the evolution of their sound. It's like fucking, it's incredible. And it's a little sad that it kind of peaked just at Pet Sounds, because I was reading up on it and said that, they tried to do another Pet Sounds, to try to keep up with the Beatles, and it didn't really work out because Brian Wilson was doing a whole bunch of fucking drugs and everything. And that's probably what contributed to a lot of the weird shit you hear on the record, because he had, terrible habitual, like, I think it was like daily acid doses, like not microdosing bullshit, like actual every day. And you can see it in like how he talks now and shit. It's really sad. But I love the evolution of their sound, and I wish that it didn't peak there. I was I was a little disappointed to see that they didn't do anything after that. And another fucking thing, this album was written and arranged and produced by one fucking guy, essentially.
Jesus.
One fucking guy. I mean, he had Tony Asher, this jingle writer. Have you ever heard of this Tony Asher character?
No, who's this fucking character?
I've never heard of this Tony Asher guy, and I looked him up, and he's just some fucking San Francisco, I don't know if San Francisco, California jingle writer. And I guess he actually helped Brian Wilson a lot with the lyrics for the the songs. So maybe you could blame it on Tony Asher, not fucking my boy.
I don't care who it is. They're slimy and they deserve to know it.
They know it. But yeah, I think that's just a feat in and of itself. It's kind of like how Tame Impala, you know, it's like a one-man band.
Yeah.
And it's just like, I don't know how they fit that much fucking sound into a piece of music. It's kind of fucking crazy. I don't know.
Wow.
But let's give it a freaking rating. Enough rambling about this damn masterpiece. What'd you rate it out of 10?
I would rate it a 5.
You're a fuckhead. You're an absolute fuckhead. I hope you know that.
You're a fuckhead.
You're not. No. Mm-mm. This is a 10 out of 10. This is a 10 out of 10 record. 10? Yes. This is a 10 out of 10 record for me.
That's just wrong, but
I fucking I thought you were going to really like this record. That's why I recommended it.
You were wrong. You can't tie me down.
I mean, shit. You're just a bull without a bullpen.
You can't stop me.
You went past the 8 seconds, dude. Let the cowboy off the fucking... Okay, this bull riding metaphor is getting too...
You know a lot more about bull riding than I do.
I'm named after a bull rider, dude.
You are?
Yeah, Lane Frost, dude.
Wow.
He died in Wyoming. God bless his soul. Rest in peace.
Lane died in Wyoming.
Yeah.
Okay, now we should introduce the next part of this, unless you had anything else to say about the album.
Album's really good. Go listen to it. Don't listen to what Josh says. It's very good. That's it.
No. Anyways, well, the last thing I want to do with this album is place it in our ever-expanding tier list.
Okay.
I figured we did a practice podcast before this because we are not amateurs.
We're not. We're fucking professionals.
There is exactly one other album in this list. So we get to decide whether Pet Sounds, we have to agree on this.
This is okay.
This is going to cause some contention. Yeah, we have to decide if Pet Sounds by the Beach Boys is better or worse than Currents by Tame Impala. Make your case.
Okay, here's my case. Tame Impala's Currents. You know, these are two albums that you can actually fairly put up against each other. Because they're made by one guy. They're fucking all the songs are about introspective whatever. So, you know, Pet Sounds is better than Currents, obviously. Okay, let's get that out of the way. Pet Sounds is better than Currents because it has that ingenuity, that recording ingenuity, and that sense of just wonder, you know? It's not like it's just some fucking loner idiot sitting in his fucking Australian apartment for 9 fucking months doing 1,000 fucking vocal takes. It's some fuckers in 1966 taking acid, fucking around in a recording studio, and making a good record, a really good record. And you can feel that it's just maybe not. Well, I guess you could say fun. Like, it's just a fun fucking time, and I don't care how slimy it is, but I find that holistically, it's a better experience than Currents is. But I still really like Currents. Sorry if I offended anybody.
See, that's interesting because obviously I was not as hyped about this album. I did enjoy Currents quite a bit. And I did not enjoy Pet Sounds so much.
Yeah.
And so I'm inclined to put it below Currents. But I will, I would say, like I said, it's not a bad pop album. It's catchy. It's fun. I enjoyed listening to it. I typically, like as soon as I wake up, not as soon as I wake up, but like once I get out of bed and I'm like getting dressed and brushing my teeth, I'll just put whatever album we're listening to on. So this was a really good one for that because it was nice. I could kind of wake up and dancing and all. Not a great album to get mad to once again. It's difficult when I get frustrated because I can't be listening to these albums. I have to put something else on.
Yeah, that's very true.
And when I go skating, I feel very strange listening to Pet Sounds.
You're skating listening to Pet? That's funny.
Yeah. Had it in the breast pocket of my vest with all my pins and patches on it. Just playing Pet Sounds.
Fucking Pet Sounds. You have like a fucking Dead Kennedy's pin and like the Fugazi pin, and you listen to fucking Pet Sounds by the Beach Boys.
But yeah, I think, I don't know. I'll say it was. And like I said, I didn't do enough research. I'm sure this had a lot of impact on stuff that I just don't know about. In terms of like, changing the game is difficult without knowing. From a modern day perspective, because sometimes you just take stuff for granted.
Yeah, definitely.
So I can definitely understand. There's probably some stuff they did with this that was different, and a lot of stuff. I will concede, and I'll put Pet Sounds above Currents.
God bless you, my friend. And another thing, though, that I was kind of thinking about, maybe you're right about it being overrated, because I literally recommended this album saying that this is like, people say that it's as good as Sgt. Pepper, and that's you and I's it's one of our favorite records ever.
Right.
So I think when you're comparing it to that constantly, it definitely takes its own character away from it. And with Currents, it was just like, fucking Tame Impala, whatever. Once you put it against one of our favorite records of all time, it's definitely gonna, not live up to our expectations. But it lived up to mine and didn't live up to yours, but that's just kind of how it goes, I suppose.
How it goes.
All right, baby. What you got for the our movie for this week?
What do I got? Well, I have a movie that I should have pulled up on Wikipedia before we started recording.
I should do the same thing.
And it is the 2015 American horror thriller film Green Room.
Yeah.
Yes, Green Room. Came out in 2015. Apparently was at the Toronto International Film Festival and the Cannes Film Festival. So that's neat. I didn't know that before. But Green Room is about a punk band who is on a tour and their gig gets canceled, but the dude says they can hook him up with this place that has a bit of a rough crowd. The rough crowd being actual Nazis. And they show up, play the show, and then spoiler alert, this will be a spoiler cast. It's also on Netflix, so pause it and go watch it. They see a murder, and then the Nazis say you have to die now because you saw this murder, and they have to try to fight to survive through the rest of the night and into the next day, where this band is trapped. I didn't actually know this was about a punk band and fighting Nazis. The last movie we watched was Inglourious Basterds, so I guess I have something against Nazis. I don't know.
I feel like that's a good thing, right?
But yeah, so I didn't know that. I just knew it was about a band who gets attacked in their green room. And yeah, what did you think?
So, okay. I don't know. I have a lot of problems with this movie, but they did some things right that I actually really liked. I think that the whole premise of it was actually super cool, and like it's fucking killing Nazis. Like, every movie should just have that premise, and it'll be at least halfway decent. Like, yeah, the whole premise of it was really cool, and I actually liked the whole aspect from, like, you know, the whole music business thing at the beginning, where they're like, okay, you have to do this, you have to, like, we'll give you 50% of the door. Like, they got a lot of that, like, super, like, spot on. Like, really, it was really accurate, and I actually really liked the their Nazi Punks Fuck Off cover. Fucking maybe Funke fucking destroying it on the guitar. I didn't know she's in this fucking movie, and I was like, holy shit, that's maybe Funke. Oh yeah, that scene at the beginning where they're performing and they're like showing the mosh pit in slow motion, and there's like this really ambient music behind it. I actually really liked that like showing a mosh pit to be like this beautiful thing. It was kind of cool, even though it was a bunch of Nazis. It was pretty cool. And it seemed like the people who made this movie knew a lot about just music and the music industry and everything.
That was something I picked up on, not even music, but specifically punk and like the culture around that.
Yeah.
It felt like they really understood this. It did not feel like an outsider's perspective. It felt like someone who knew, like, all of it sounded really genuine. The only parts that I felt was weird was specifically actually that mosh pit. I was like, that pit would probably be a little bit harder, especially if these guys are literal neo-Nazis in the Pacific Northwest.
That's true.
That was the only thing. Otherwise, I was like, wow, this is a really good, just like understanding of like punk and how that community works.
Yeah, definitely. And, you know, I've been praising it for the accuracy of, you know, the whole music thing, but that fucking interview they had at the beginning with the dude with the mohawk, and that fucking guy is talking about like, oh, it's all about the message and the texture of it, man. It made me dislike that character so fucking much. And
Which one was that? I forget that.
It was Pat. He was the fucking guy who lives. And it's just like, I don't understand. Like, it's just so pretentious, and it just made me dislike them straight from the fucking beginning. I was just like, okay, you piss me off. Like, I really dislike your message here. I don't care if you're a fucking punk band. You're one of the punks that I very much dislike. But you know, I said the good things about this movie. Now I'm gonna get into the bad things of this movie. Okay,
do it.
There's a lot of fucking
like a
bad
line
things.
of coke on a bathroom.
Like a line of fucking coke off a neo-Nazi's brain. Patrick Stewart's in this movie. Why does Patrick Stewart say the N-word 2 times in this movie? That is something I never wanted to hear in my fucking life. Patrick Stewart playing a neo-Nazi like fucking leader. He's like the main bad guy in the whole thing. Jean-Luc Picard. He did a good job, but it was just like, why is he?
I thought he made a great charismatic villain.
He was good, but it was like, fucking, why Patrick fucking Stewart? You could have got like Jesse Pinkman from Breaking Bad.
Bad.
But it was just like, I was so uncomfortable with it just because of my just personal, you know, perception, that's a better word, perception of Patrick Stewart. And now I won't get this fucking thing out of my head of him saying the fucking N-word hard R twice in this fucking movie. His performance was really good. I actually really liked it. But that was one of my grievances with it. The whole mic feedback thing. That's not how fucking mic feedback sound. Like, that's not how it sounds. They could have just fucking actually did it. Like, I don't understand why they didn't just do it and put it in the fucking movie. They like got it from some fucking library and put it in the movie. I was like, that's not how it sounds. And they use it as like a plot device for the dogs.
Very important plot device.
Yeah, and it's like It sounds fucking stupid. I don't know, man. It's just like there's a lot of like stupid plot hole things too that I was writing down. But the number one problem I have with this movie is that a lot of the characters, the main fucking characters, are really unlikable, and that you don't really know anything about them. Yeah, I didn't like any of them. You know what though? This Amber bitch, the lady who played Amber is the worst fucking actor I've ever seen in my life. Actress, sorry.
I didn't mind her at all.
She was so fucking like, like fucking put some fucking emotion in your fucking performance, man. Like, I get it, like, you're supposed to be this skinhead or whatever, but God, it's so fucking annoying when everyone else is like freaking the fuck out, and then she's just like, I don't know.
I thought it worked because it felt like, because she was the only one that was there when whatever her name was got fucking shanked.
Yeah.
So it felt very much like she was in shock, which did last the whole movie.
Yeah, it should have worn off like as soon as that guy got his arm fucking ganked. Which is another thing. That dude's arm was fucked up. They just wrapped it up in duct tape, and they're like, "Yeah, he's good. He's completely fine."
The weirdest thing was that they had like a cover on it, and they grabbed duct tape, and everyone, I watched this with my family.
Yeah,
we were all like, "Okay, so they'll duct tape the blanket or whatever."
Yeah, like on top of the cover they already have.
What? Why would you do that? That doesn't make sense.
Like straight on the skin too, and then you have to like peel. Oh my God.
That would be fucking awful to peel off. But
it's terrible, man.
Yeah, that was. I mean, the arm was weird, but I liked how they used that to immediately be like, this is the weak guy, and the whole time you're like, he's gonna fucking die, and then he lives till the end. Yeah. I liked that.
Yeah, that was alright.
I felt like that kept a good sense of like.
But no, because that's like the cliche for every fucking horror movie. The virgin always lives. Like the weakest one always lives.
Well, I don't know. I thought it worked.
It like worked, but it was just like, okay, I don't know. Maybe I'm just a jaded asshole, but I
thought it provided a decent sense of like, I'm forgetting the word, but like a need to hurry.
Yeah,
like,
that's fair.
There was like, this guy is hurt, we gotta get out of here, or like.
But he didn't really seem that fucking. I guess he did. Yeah, he kind of hammed it up pretty good.
He kind of came back later. They kind of had him sit out at the beginning so that he could come back later, and it was more feasible. That he was like, okay.
Yeah, the whole fucking paintball thing. That was fucking stupid. What the hell?
That was kind of dumb.
That was really stupid. Like they interrupted him the first time, and then they're like, what was the bring it? And the Amber lady's like, what was the paintball story? I want to hear it. And it was just like. And he shaved his hair off and painted his face?
No, he's the Sharpie.
Oh. I must have missed that because I was
she picks up a Sharpie and she goes, then let's go all in.
Oh, I see. But where'd his hair go? How'd they cut his hair?
He shaved it. They found when the guy comes in at first before they realize that he's cut his hair.
Yeah.
And he sees him like leaning into the like drug thing or whatever. And he sees he like starts to suspect something or whatever. And he looks at the sink and there's the razor with like hair on it.
Oh, okay. I guess I'm just a fuck kid who doesn't pay attention.
Yeah, you're okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Speaking of the Nazis, though, this was something I thought was weird that they included. Mm-hmm. So I don't know, but did you understand the significance of the shoelaces? Like,
yeah, the red shoelaces. I thought that was kind of interesting. I didn't. Is that like a thing?
Yeah, so okay, that's why I wanted to bring it up because obviously like boots and Doc Martens and stuff are big in punk, and what your laces on your boots are correspond to mean something. And red laces on black boots means Nazi, so that's why like there's one shot where they pan down and all the dudes have red laces on their boots, and he gives them the red laces. So I thought that was kind of like inadequately explained.
Oh, yeah, that's true. Yeah.
I was like, that's really cool. And like, once again, understanding of punk culture. Mm-hmm. like it goes down to the boots you were wearing to signify this, but like they just did not explain it enough. And I was like, I mean, I asked my family about that because they know nothing.
Yeah.
And they're like, I kind of get like it's part of the club. I was like, yeah, I mean, I guess you kind of understand like he's part of the club, but I don't know. I just think that that's not something I think a general audience would understand, that red laces indicate Nazi.
Yeah. But also, if they went out of their way to go and explain it, I feel like it would even be worse, because it'd feel like you're treating your audience as like people who don't understand what they're watching, you know, kind of treating your audience as ignorant.
I feel like there's a way to do it that doesn't seem like that.
Yeah, there's definitely a sweet spot, but I definitely wouldn't know how to do it like subtly and, you know. But yeah, I actually really like that aspect. I was like, oh, the red shoelaces. I didn't know that meant something in the punk scene. So the shots in this movie and the music in this movie are really well. I actually really like the shots. They're really well composed, and I feel like, you know, they didn't have like too much thought put into them. Like, it's not a fucking David Fincher movie or anything, but it worked for what it was. Like, nothing seemed too phoned in or whatever, you know. But it was just like really dark the whole fucking time. Did you have that problem? Could you see fucking anything in this movie?
I didn't have that problem at all, and we watched it like
Really?
in the dark. I didn't notice it was dark. I thought, the cinematography I thought was fine. There was definitely some decent shots, nothing that really stood out to me.
Yeah.
Except for towards the end, like when they're showing all of these other characters, that part was super weird to me. Maybe it's just the way it was cut, and just like there was so much more motion than I think I was used to. I felt like I was watching a trailer all of a sudden.
Yeah,
Weird.
no, I noticed that too. The editing right there, I was like, what the fuck? Did they change editors in the middle of the movie? Yeah.
It felt like they just literally ripped that for the trailer and just kept that in the final edit. And I was like, that's weird. But the one thing we did notice, maybe it's just because my dad is really loud when he is doing stuff and not watching the movie.
Yeah.
That movie was so quiet. I could not fucking understand anything.
Yeah, I couldn't understand a fucking word the band was saying. And like the whole I wrote something down about the sound, and oh yeah, in the venue, you know, like there's a set going on, and like these guys are just like talking at the bar at a normal volume, and they can hear each other. Like, you know how fucking loud that would be? It would be so like overwhelmingly loud in this neo-Nazi punk metal
like
venue.
Yeah, and it's clearly like a rec center.
Yeah.
Is what the building looks like. So it's like clearly there's not like a lot of place for the sound to go.
Yeah, like it would just stay in there. I don't know. And like they were in the green room, and it didn't seem as loud as it should have seemed, you know? Like it seemed like it was just like really far away. But, you know, I don't know. It was the sound is there's one part that made me giggle in the movie, is when the two guys are screaming for what's his face, Gabe, towards the end of the movie, where they're like underground and they're gonna kill these two neo-Nazis or whatever, and it cuts to Gabe power washing fire extinguisher shit. Like, it just cuts back to the thing going on. I was just like, like, that's fantastic. He's just cleaning up. He's just doing his job. But yeah, the ending, I don't know, it was really fucking dramatic, and that the writing was like the writing from a campy like Army of Darkness type movie with a bunch of one-liners and shit, and I was like, oh my god, this is fucking, come on, let's wrap this shit up.
I didn't really mind the ending, but there was a few things that were weird that I felt like didn't get paid off or paid off wrong. The first of which was when they first go back and they're going to confront them, like when the guy has the dog and they first show up on that property,
Yeah.
it very intentionally pans down to this beware of dog sign,
Yeah.
which is supposed to be like foreshadowing clearly. And
Yeah.
the guy has a dog, but they immediately neutralized that. And I thought it was going to be something where like he tied it so the dog could slip free and attack them. But then that just never happens.
Yeah.
And I was like, the
True.
dog was a serious threat, but like fucking half an hour ago, he already killed 2 people.
Yeah.
There's no point in telling us to beware of the dog. The shot should have been when they were first driving in and past the sign.
Yeah. Well, there was a brief mentioning of it. Do you remember when Patrick Stewart was talking about, like, do you have no trespassing? And they're like, no, we have a beware of dog. But that was like the only mention of it.
Well, yeah, and it's like they set up the dogs as a threat, but just like if you're gonna include a shot very obviously showing off a beware of dog sign, don't put it after the dogs are no longer a threat.
Yeah.
And then like the one dog is like running away or whatever, it's just running down the thing.
Yeah.
You think that might come back? I thought what was gonna happen was that dog was gonna find Gabe and kill Gabe.
Yeah.
That's what I thought was gonna happen.
Which would have been great. Kill him.
But then it just like shows up at the farm and sits down. And then there's this weird emotional scene for a neo-Nazi. Where,
Yeah.
the dog loves him.
I had
like,
a really big problem with that. Like it's humanizing these fucking terrible, terrible people that have been the antagonists for the entire movie and are like real life, like terrible, terrible people who do terrible, terrible things. It's like, why are you making me sympathize for this fucking neo-Nazi asshole who trained dogs to fight each other and to kill people?
The ending was definitely a bit strange.
It was strange. And then the last line is like, "What's your desert island band? My desert island band is this or whatever." And she's like, "Tell someone who gives a shit." And it's like, fucking, she switches back so many times. Like, she cares about the paintball thing, and now she gets to know about the desert island band, and she doesn't give a fuck. Like, after all they've been through. It's like, I don't understand. Like, you gave your desert island band. No one gave a shit about you, fucking Amber bitch. She was not my favorite character. I'll just say that.
Yeah, I could tell. I didn't mind that. I thought it was just a little quirky thing. I didn't necessarily think anything of it.
And was the credits song, was that CCR? Was that like Leonard Skinner? Like, why would they play?
I wasn't paying attention to that part. I didn't notice.
They were not playing a punk or metal song. That's basically it. Like, why? I don't know. It was beside the point. But yeah, I mean, that's about everything. I
noticed I wrote down weird mixing when they're walking in the woods. I don't remember what it was. I think it was just like
it was too loud. Like the noises they were making. Yeah, the noises they were making in the woods is too loud.
I thought the pacing was kind of weird.
Yeah.
I don't know. It was weird in that things were happening and the deaths felt meaningful. Like, that was one of the problems I had with Inglourious Basterds, was that most of the deaths just kind of happen and you keep moving.
Yeah.
This one, it didn't quite happen, but also it kind of did. Like, someone would die and they would immediately just have to respond. So there wasn't time to like do this big thing about their death. But it also, I don't know, it just kind of felt weird. I couldn't pin it down to like there's not enough action, but there's too much, or I don't know. It was just weird.
It's weird. Yeah, I think that's the one word. It's just weird, and I feel like there's a good movie in there somewhere. I feel like there's actually a really good movie in there somewhere. I feel like if you make it a longer movie, you flesh out your protagonists a little bit more, because it felt like they just jumped into it, which some people could argue that, is a super good thing. But I don't know I barely knew these characters' fucking names until like 3/4 of the way through the movie. Like, I don't
know any of their names. I couldn't tell you a single one.
feel like that's a problem. Like, I feel like you should know the fucking characters' names in a fucking movie you're watching about these people. So I feel like if they fleshed them out, didn't make them pretentious douchebags at the beginning, and then fix some, I don't know, other shit, the writing was kind of god awful in some parts with the one-liners and everything. But I feel like there's a good movie in there somewhere, and I really like the premise and everything.
Yeah, I thought there were definitely highs and lows. They had a neat motif of green. I noticed it at the beginning. I first stopped noticing it.
Yeah.
Not that it didn't happen, I just didn't notice it. But at the beginning, like they're riding the bike and the light is like turns green. And there's other moments where it's like a little bit too over the top. And then one thing I wrote down, there was one really cool transition where someone says like we're losing light in the next shot of the light bulb, which I thought was neat. But I wrote, whoa, that's my Vans, because the dude wearing Vans is the same pair I was wearing when I watched the movie.
Fuck yeah.
Also, the dude with the blue hair that like dies super quickly and his death is the most glossed over. He looks just like this kid on TikTok that I see all the time.
I hate you. We cannot talk about TikTok on our fucking
They both have
podcast.
the blue hair and like it's kind of curly and kind of faded. I don't.
This hair looked gross. I didn't like it.
I liked it. I want to kiss him.
All right, what are you rating this movie?
I'm giving it a solid 7 out of 10.
Wow. Damn.
I enjoyed it.
I'll give it a 5 out of 10.
5 out of 10, huh?
Yeah, considering, how many problems I had with it while I was watching it too.
Yeah.
Was just, it wasn't. Because when I was compared to Inglourious Bastards, like that whole movie, I was like, oh shit, I love this. Like this is awesome. Like having a good time. But there were a lot of parts in this movie where it's like, okay, I get it. So yeah, I'll give it a 5 out of 10.
I didn't realize it was an A24 film either before we started it.
I didn't either. I was like, oh, A24, this might be really good. But then it kind of was and wasn't.
A little bit over the top for what I would think of as an A24. But
Yeah, definitely.
Still enjoyed it. All right, and where do you want to put this on the list?
Below Inglourious Bastards.
I will agree on that one.
Okay.
I don't think.
Yeah, they're hard to compare to, besides the fact that they're both killing Nazis or trying to kill Nazis. See, in Inglourious Bastards, they were more successful at killing the Nazis. Maybe that's why I liked it more.
They killed a few.
They killed a few, but not as many as...
When Amber fucking sliced up that fat Justin's...
That was weird. She did it with like no emotion or anything. She's just like...
She was like, you gotta make sure he's dead. And it's like, okay, cut him. And then she was like...
like fucking surgery with a box cutter. Yeah, that weirded me out.
So smooth. It was like butter. And I was like, that is...
There was little to no fucking resistance to that fucking cut to his innards. Yeah. Oh, I forgot to write that down, but yeah, that weirded me out. I was like, what the fuck? Yeah, so...
My whole family thought that guy was David Harbour until the very end when we looked at the credits.
He actually did look a lot... I thought he was the guy from Epic Mealtime. Like, why is the guy from Epic Mealtime fucking neo-Nazi in this movie?
Patrick Stewart and Epic Mealtime.
Top build cast. Oh, God. That's funny. Okay. So, and another thing I have to explain about this podcast is that the person who recommends the record or the movie switches each week, and one of the rules is that one person has to have not listened to it or seen the movie, so that there is a fresh take, essentially, produced by our viewings and listenings. But we both can have not listened to it or seen it, but it has to be one or the other. So, Joshua, since you are recommending the record for this week, what do you got? What do you got for me, baby? Give it to me.
The record I have for this week, because I am only one note, I am one singular note. It is Fuck the System by The Exploited.
Okay. Punk record, I'm assuming.
Hardcore / thrash metal.
Oh, shit. That sounds exciting.
It's very good. It's on Spoofy.
Spoofy?
Yeah, if you go to The Exploited Artist, it's like their first album in their discography. It's got 2 skulls with skull mohawks.
Okay. Well, that sounds like a fucking... It's called Fuck the System by The Exploited. So anyone who... This is like book club. We can have it like book club, so we can have our listeners report in of what they liked and didn't like about the record and movie. So everyone who's listening, go and listen to Exploited's Fuck the System. And everybody, including Joshua, needs to watch Goodfellas.
Goodfellas.
Directed by Martin Scorsese. Oh, man.
Zimmer.
Ugh, fucking love that movie. Josh hasn't seen it. He hasn't seen any fucking movies. I hate him.
Poster.
Is it on the poster?
I think it is. I would go up and check, but it's too far away.
For context, we have
80% sure.
Josh has a poster for what is it? It's the Criterion Collection or something?
It's the top 100 movies. I don't know who made it. It's different from the checklist online from the AFI.
Yeah.
I think it's based off of, well, it's not based off box office because, like, I don't think Avatar's on there, but, like, it's not a lot of pretentious stuff. It's mostly, like, there's a lot of, like, Avengers and Toy Story stuff is on there.
Yeah. It's a good list, and Goodfellas is on it, and it's not scratched out. So that is my goal. I think I'm gonna make that a goal. We're gonna have this checklist filled out by the time we die.
I've scratched off like 3 more since quarantine. I scratched off Terminator, and Airplane, and I think one other, but I can't remember what the other one was. But I know I scratched off Terminator and Airplane, so I've made progress.
I'm glad you've watched Airplane. That's a fucking classic.
That was good.
All right, baby. Well, anything else you'd like to say? Any housekeeping things?
I'll just say we'll post the tier lists. They're kind of bare right now, but we'll make sure those get posted. But I'm gonna say, we'll post them on our Instagram so you can see what the rankings, what the list is now. The one for movies and one for albums, separate lists.
Yes, sir. And then, we should have a social media page up by the time you're listening to this. So go follow us on Instagram. Follow us on Instagram at One for the Other or One for the Other podcast. It'll be something like that. To get updates on everything, and follow us on SoundCloud. Or YouTube, subscribe to our YouTube channel. It should be something like One for the Other podcast, One for the Other show, something like that. So find us there. We're working on having it uploaded to Spotify and Apple Music, but we don't know if anyone's going to listen to it. So please listen to it. And then we'll have it up to Spotify and Apple Music and all those streaming services.
Thank you to all 2 of our listeners, Lane's mom and my mom. We appreciate all both of you.
We very much appreciate it. Love you, Mom. Okay, I think that's a good place to stop. Everyone listen to Exploited's Fuck the System and Martin Scorsese's don't listen to... you can't... Well, you have to listen to the movies.
Make sure sound is on.
Make sure the sound is on.
Subtitles.
You might need subtitles. There's a lot of fucking Italian... fucks in this movie who can't speak English.
Goddamn Italians.
Goddamn fucking Italian. Okay, great. Everybody, thank you for listening. We will see you next week.